Hey Angel, welcome back to Your Own University TV, where we're going to talk about what sets you apart from everybody else in the world, because you matter. So today we're going to be talking about drive and initiative and how I get so many things done, because this question is asked all the time about me. And when I really sat back and thought about it, it really boils down to how I have healed my sexuality and sexual trauma. So we're going to talk about healing sexual trauma, tapping into that precious, beautiful energy that is your creative life force so you can get more done in less time and create the life that you want. Let's get started. So hello. This is one of my favorite topics. And people ask me all the time, how do you get all this stuff done? How do you do everything? When I meet people, they're like, oh my gosh, you do everything. You're everywhere. And I had to think about that for a long time. Like, how am I everywhere? What do I connect into? What am I really teaching about? And what it really boils down to is when I began my journey to healing, to coaching, to being a trainer of yogis and coaches, and developing the books and everything that I do, there's one central theme. And that theme is what I've really come here to the planet to end the cycle of abuse in and reignite the joy and the drive and the initiative and the power that it has to create everything and anything that we want in our lives. And that theme is sexuality. That theme is sex. So it did begin with me having my sexuality completely and totally broken down, sabotaged, that power over me and my sexuality to hurt me when I was a kid walking through sexual abuse. And then walking through cancer in my 20s, where my cervix and my ovaries were not functioning correctly. I had cysts, I had cervical cancer, and it didn't function. Nothing worked. I also had the Norplant where I bled every day for 2 years, and Planned Parenthood wouldn't take it out, and it was horrible on me. So I had to pay attention to all of that for a long time. And then I started to explore relationships and sexuality. Like, what did that mean? And how could I have a decent relationship? And I went through drama and trauma there, realizing that this sexual drive to have that intimacy, that love, that healthy awareness of sexuality, from studying everything from polyamory to tantra to things like the jade egg and healing there, to studying masculinity and femininity, to engaging in the practice of what is our sexuality. And how does it affect us? So you probably know that sex sells, right? Sex sells, huge. And also you probably know that there's a huge issue with sexual slavery right now happening in the world. And then there is sexual abuse. And then there's everything that is happening in the church. And then there's everything that is happening with us just physically. And right now, there's even stuff in Congress about our wombs, ladies. So this is huge when it comes to our sexuality and our power, our initiative, and our drive. And so when people ask me, how do you get all your books done and your CD done, and you sing and you train and you coach and you just got your master's and you're in the middle of your PhD, like, how do you do it all? And I see you camping. Like, what are you doing? Like, how do you have all this time? I have to boil it down to what really started me on this journey, what really started me going, how can I heal and be whole? And that is healing my sexuality. And so I help women and men heal their sexuality by tapping into their genius and speaking their truth. So I'm going to share how I do that right now so you can connect with this energy and connect with your drive. There's no greater force in the world than us procreating, than us literally creating life. There is this drive. If you've ever been around teenagers, it's friggin' crazy. They get to that age where their bodies say, yes, you can do it. And that's like all they can think about. As we age, we still have that energy. And if we stay connected into it, we can utilize it to literally bend time and create manifestations in our life of anything that you want. I truly believe anything that you desire, anything that your heart desires. But the really important thing is to have a healthy relationship with your personal sexuality on each and every level. And that takes some time. That takes some healing. I love working with people that have gone through some sort of sexual trauma and putting the pieces back together, because what happens in their life is things start clicking and falling into place like magic, and they're like, whoa, how did this happen? As they heal, and you get a lot more done a lot faster. You're also able to connect into your pleasure principle, and the pleasure principle is like, what fills you with pleasure? What fills you up? What lights your fire? What turns you on? And if you're disconnected with your sexuality and your sensuality, you can't connect with what turns you on, because it's labeled as dirty, wrong, controlled, and different aspects of people, places, and things control our sexuality. So the first thing that controls your sexuality, this is so good to know and be aware of. So the first thing is the media. The media tells us how we should be, how we have to do it. They make it like this physical act that is beautiful and wonderful, right? But it's just a piece of the puzzle. And so it dampens the power that your sexuality, that your yes, that your passion will have on you. It dampens that. So in order to get in touch with that again, cutting out media and their views and really looking at how you have bought into the dogma is really, really important. Secondly, we are controlled by the church or faith or religion. So if you are part of any church, really any faith, any religion, and they have an opinion on sexuality that is less than it is holy, it is good, go out and have it, it is fun, but be respectful, be wonderful, and be mindful, then this is huge to look at, to dive into, and to explore, like, what are they saying and what are they doing? There's a lot of contradictory stuff out there in our religions. The third place to really look at that we are controlled is your own belief systems. And this shifts all the time, but like, what do you believe about sex? Like, how were you raised? Were you raised to think that it was naughty and yet you were abused? Were you raised to think that it was naughty and that you shouldn't do it? Because if that's the case and you're married and you're like, why aren't I having a sex life? Like, where's the good news, right? Well, that could be it, right? Our belief systems really form everything around us. So the first thing is to look at all of those, like, where are you buying into anything outside of yourself and how can you shift that? The next thing about this is to connect into your pleasure and your passions. So this is where your creative energy, creative energy connects with God, spirit, source, wherever you believe in. This is where you no longer can use sex as a physicality thing, but it becomes more of a deeper connection. You know that there is an energy exchange between you and whoever you are having it with, or even if you are just pleasuring yourself, and you can expect to open up to that in this realm. So there's a huge respect for sexuality that is mandatory in order for you to tap into that energy and your own sexuality. So how do you do this? You connect to God, to source, and you say, what am I passionate about? What turns me on? And when I say turn you on, I'm talking about what gets you hard, what makes you tingle, what connects with that second chakra energy and makes you go, ooh, yeah, that's exciting, right? And it can be anything, not a person necessarily, but it can be anything. Like, what do you want to create? What do you want to explore? What do you want to go out and find out about that literally turns you on? This is where we walk to. This is what's going to manifest in our life. This is what's going to open up and create in our life. So if it's a family that's like, ooh, and I think about that, I'm like, yeah, then that's what you do. If it is creating a project, a book, it's a signature talk, a speech, right? Then it's like, ooh, yes. If it's changing the world in some way, yes, that's it. You'll feel it inside. It's like, whew. And oftentimes people tell me like, this is big energy, but this is also the energy that shifts reality, that helps me get things done in like really fast time, that helps open the doors to the right situations to come into my life, that helps me feel blessed. It also helps me really dive in 110% because I trust that initial like oof from the universe that says, yes, this is going to bring pleasure. This is going to bring life to your life. So the third thing that helps you really create things in your life and heal is healing your sexuality. Like taking all those things that we just talked about and going in and actually healing your sexuality, exploring sexuality and the sacredness around it, the connection of it. What are your standards? What does it mean to you? How can you have a really beautiful, healthy relationship with your sexuality? Now, if you're like me and you grew up and you had experienced sexual abuse as your first initial introduction, or if you grew up in a place where sexuality was bad, wrong, hush hush, nobody talked about it, it was shameful, guiltful, then this is huge for you to tap into your success and how to do what you want to do in the world. There is a lot of healing around sexuality, and if you want to know more about this, please contact me personally, because it's a really personal journey, and it's definitely part of the Amazing You program. It's definitely part of all of my programs as a trauma transformer. Sexual trauma is one of the biggest leaps to heal. When you heal it, life opens up. Literally, you have more power to create in life what you want. Your first and second chakra, that security chakra, and the creative chakras are open for you to maximize your potential in the world. And it happens through healing your sexuality and making a really beautiful relationship with your sexuality. And you don't have to be in a relationship with anybody else to have this relationship with yourself. I've even had a beautiful relationship with my sexuality and had it where I felt it was really healed and I was going places and doors were opening and things were manifesting and it was like, fuck yeah. And then boom, I got myself into a situation and was raped in 2016 and had it just demolished. You can, if this has happened to you, I share it at Divinely You Foundation, but I had it demolished and I rebuilt it with the system, with the Amazing You system within myself, reconnected into that energy and rebuilt that energy within myself to heal again. So even if you have gone through something recently, you can heal this energy and reconnect with it so you can manifest more abundance and more joy and more peace, and you can really accomplish your dreams and your desires. You can even connect into your dreams and desires, because when we have these false beliefs or sexual trauma in our life, it's really, really challenging to connect into what you desire and your drive and your initiative, because your drive and your initiative and your success factors come from this creative power that is your turn on, that is your awesomeness, that is your creative energy that comes from your sexual energy, right? Your sexual energy. So how do you heal your sexual energy? I hope that you got a lot from this today. I hope that you have some ideas of where to dive into, where to clear. If you would like a personal clearing, if you would like some sessions with me, book them at lishaantika.com. And please join us, look more into our yoga teacher training and our coaching certification at your own university, because they're open for enrollment now. And I'm super excited to train some more trauma transformers this year. So Thank you so very much for being you. If you like this episode, like it. If you want to share it with somebody, please do, because it is time to heal our sexuality, to create some wonderful things in this world, and to get more wonderful things done, because that's where we show up. That's where we change the world, and you matter in it. Your energy matters in it. I love you so much. Have a great day. Thank you for watching Your Own University TV. I want to know, are you a trauma transformer? Have you experienced something in your life that you feel you could take from and help others who might be going through something similar go through it faster, more effectively, and with more success? If this is you, then I want to help you get your message out into the world. We have a certification for our coaches happening right now, and we're accepting applications. This is holistic health coaching. So I'll take my master's in transpersonal psychology, my experience in yoga, and my years of coaching on the platform, as well as help you to create programs, books, and signature talks so you can build your business in this field. You're going to learn about living your healthiest life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and esoterically. You're going to learn about how to put your best life into action in your relationships as well as in your business. And you're going to have formulas in order to help you be a master coach and earn a living helping others transform trauma in their lives. So if this sounds like a plan for you, if this is something that you want to do, then go to Your Own University right now and apply to be one of our next top coaches. I can't wait to meet you and talk to you about transforming trauma, because we are changing the world.